Slicer cleaning. Your slicer should be cleaned and sanitized at least once for every 4-hour period of use and at the end of each workday. It is recommended that you wear cut-resistant gloves when cleaning the slicer. Prior to cleaning, turn off the machine and then turn the thickness control dial all the way to the minimum to close the fence. Pull the carriage all the way toward you. If your slicer is a semi-automatic model, switch the slicer to manual mode before cleaning. Unplug the slicer. Danger: always unplug the slicer prior to cleaning. After unplugging the slicer, remove the carriage components. If your model has a non-removable carriage assembly, loosen the carriage arm knob and tilt the carriage assembly away from the slicer body. Note that on some models, the thickness control dial functions as a release lever for the carriage. Next, loosen the adjustment spacer knob. Then unscrew the adjustment spacer rod. Remove the rod and spacer and set aside for cleaning. Now, remove the feed grip. If the grip on your model is comprised of multiple pieces, remove the feed weight and first spacing washer by turning the weight counterclockwise. Remove the feed grip from the support arm and the second plastic spacing washer. Also remove the small metal grip washer. Then set all the pieces aside for cleaning. Next, loosen the knob on the product feed rod by turning counterclockwise. Remove the rod, feed grip, and the 2 impact-absorbing washers and set aside for cleaning. On models with removable carriages, unscrew the carriage arm knob and pull upwards to remove the carriage. Set the knob and carriage aside for cleaning. On models which have a removable thickness control dial, loosen the screw on the front and remove the knob for cleaning. On models where the sharpener is stored on top of the machine, unscrew the sharpener locking pin and carefully remove the sharpener by pulling upwards. Set aside for cleaning. Danger: use extreme caution around the exposed blade edge. On models equipped with a removable knife scraper, remove the knife scraper from behind the blade and set aside for cleaning. On models equipped with a non-detachable knife scraper, tilt the knife scraper down for cleaning. Next, loosen the knife guard knob on the back of the slicer. If your model is equipped with a removable knife guard knob, remove the knife guard knob and set aside for cleaning. Push upwards on the knife guard rod to lift the guard away from the blade. Take all disassembled slicer components to the sink for cleaning and sanitizing. All slicer components should be washed in mild detergent and warm water, thoroughly rinsed, sanitized, and allowed to air dry. Important: never run any portion of the slicer through a dishwasher. Now, clean and sanitize the entire slicer. Working from top to bottom, wipe away any excess food debris. Use a nylon brush soaked in mild detergent and warm water to clean around the ring guard. Also use the brush to clean the back side of the knife. Being careful not to touch the blade edge, use a moist wipe or clean cloth soaked in mild detergent and warm water to clean the knife with a circular motion. Always start from the center and work outwards when cleaning the blade. Also clean the back side of the blade. Clean the fence by starting at the knife and wiping away from the blade. Danger! Always clean the knife by wiping from the center outward, and always clean the fence by wiping away from the blade. To clean between the blade edge and protective ring guard, insert a moist wipe or damp cloth soaked in mild detergent and warm water between the blade edge and guard. Carefully work the cloth around the blade edge. Now clean all other parts of the slicer. Then, use a clean cloth soaked in clean water or a spray bottle to rinse the slicer. Remove excess water from the surface with a clean, dry paper towel. Dry the knife from the center of the knife outward and dry the fence by starting at the knife and wiping away from the blade. Use a clean cloth soaked in sanitizer solution or a spray bottle sanitizer to sanitize the machine. Important! After sanitizing, allow the slicer and all parts to completely air dry. Never wipe dry after sanitizing. Reassemble the slicer in reverse order. Carefully align the knife guard cover over the blade and allow it to drop into place. Then secure the knife guard by tightening the knob on the knife guard shaft. Reinstall the knife scraper. Or, on models with non-removable scrapers, tilt the knife scraper back into position. For models equipped with a top-mounted sharpener, reinstall the sharpener into its storage position. On models with a removable thickness control dial, reattach the dial and tighten the screw. If your model has a removable carriage, reattach the carriage and tighten the carriage arm knob. Next, reinstall the feed grip and slide rod. If your grip is comprised of multiple pieces, thread the product feed rod through the first hole on the carriage. Slide the first thick impact-absorbing washer onto the rod, slide the support onto the shaft, and then slide on the second thick impact-absorbing washer. Insert the end of the rod into the second hole on the carriage and turn clockwise to tighten. Replace the small metal washer onto the product feed grip. Then place the first thin plastic spacing washer back onto the feed grip. Thread the grip back through the hole in the support arm. Place the second thin spacing washer on the support assembly and reattach and secure the weight by turning clockwise. Next, reinstall the adjustment spacer and rod and tighten the knob. Slide the spacer out of the way and tighten the knob to secure it. Note: to allow for easy adjustment, do not over-tighten the adjustment spacer shaft or the weight on the gravity feed assembly. If your model has a non-removable carriage, tilt the carriage back in and tighten the carriage arm knob. You should also clean and sanitize the area underneath your slicer. Always use caution when lifting heavier models. On models equipped with a lift lever, push the lift lever away from you while gently lifting up on the front of the slicer. After cleaning and sanitizing underneath your slicer, gently lower it back into place. Always use both hands when lifting or lowering the slicer. If you have any further questions, contact Univex at 800-258-6358, sales@univexcorp.com, or visit us on the web at www.univexcorp.com.